Hi folks, I'm going to tell you something that you're not going to want to hear about your Samsung front load washing machine. This one happens to be a WF218, but lots of them are very similar. Very popular machines, not very expensive, lots of features. This one worked great for about 9 years and all of a sudden started making a loud thumping noise. The pump went, but the pump was not the actual cause of the problem, or it was just an indication of another symptom. When you pull the debris filter, you find a bunch of debris in it that looks suspiciously like this gray lining here, and maybe even a little bit of white stuff, which is the edge of the tub itself. And that's bad news, and that basically means that there's play in the travel of the drum. Now I'm going to tell you something that's not going to make you happy, and that is that the thing that's definitely not at fault here is the dampers. Okay, the dampers look easy to get at and easy to replace. They happen to be down there. There's one right there. It's not the dampers, okay? Unfortunately so, because it would be a lot easier if it was. I'm going to show you how you tell what's wrong. Put your hand on the drum that you got the front off. Put your hand on the drum, the white drum, to hold it, and then see if you can move the actual rotating drum side to side. See that? Hear that clunking noise? That is the sound of death. What that means is that either the bearings are gone, or worse still, the spider at the back that holds the drum to the shaft that the motor spins is defective. And it's usually the latter thing. I'm going to do some investigation and I'll take it out and hopefully you'll be able to see what it actually looks like in there. And here, folks, here's the source of the problem. See that spider? It's cracked right through. And before anybody says that we didn't clean the washing machine properly, this is what the inside of the tub looks like. Little tiny bit of debris, but nothing significant. No significant deposits of goo or other stuff. There's just a lot of corrosion products on that spider as a result of it being incompatible with the fluids that it's handling, i.e., laundry detergent and the like. So I managed to get the spider arm out, and you can see it actually came out in 3 pieces. The edges are broken, so the corrosion that happened corroded the part right through. So this thing was quite literally on its last leg. Dampers. If you want to see what the dampers actually look like and how they behave when they're not defective, like these, you can see that damper gives nice resistance up and down in both directions. It's nice and smooth, and it'll actually pull right out if we want. There's no indication of damage or corrosion. Might need a little grease, but other than that, basically it's just a frictional element that reduces the amount of vibration that happens inside the unit. The other damper here is also good. Nothing wrong with it. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not your dampers. It's the spider arm, generally, or the bearings. Here's the replacement. This has 2 good, solid, thorough coats of surface-tolerant epoxy after sandblasting to give it something to stick to. I shot the part at work with our X-ray fluorescence gun, and it came out to be 95% aluminum, 2.5% copper, 1% iron, 0.8% zinc. So it looked like a zinc casting, but it's actually aluminum. And aluminum is not resistant to alkaline conditions, like, say, the stuff you wash clothes in. So it's kind of mad that they made this part out of aluminum, and I'm pretty confident they know that that's a defect. They did it in order to make the part light and cheap and comparatively strong, and they did that despite the fact that they knew that it was soluble in water over the long term. So hopefully my coating will resist that tendency to dissolve, and we'll be able to get a little bit more service life out of this, hopefully longer than the 9 years that the last part lasted, although it was probably defective a few years ago already, if we're honest. Alright, hopefully this will work out better. And here's my machine back together again, spinning at high speed with no clothes in it. You can see it does jiggle around a bit, but not enough to be worried about. It does thump about when it goes through a critical speed or two on the way up. But you can see, you should be able to see, that it's spinning like the devil right now. Very high speed. Everything is happy. Definitely not the dampers. It was definitely that spider at the back of the drum. So if you see your machine bouncing around, give up on the dampers. It's unlikely to be them. Check to see if the spider that mounts the drum is right. And while you're in there, make sure that you check the bearings. My bearings were perfect and my seal was not leaking, so I left them alone. All in all, it takes about, it took me about an hour and a half or 2 hours to get it apart, and about the same amount of time to get it back together again. I was being slow and careful, and I'm an amateur. You can imagine that this would be a very expensive repair. $156 Canadian for the spider, $36 for the 6 bolts, which invariably break when the machine comes apart, and then another 45 bucks in my case, plus well, no shipping costs because I have Amazon Prime, but 45 Canadian dollars for a replacement pump, which I put in, which was the root of the original problem. So you can see, not very cheap.